This was filmed before the previous video about the National NV3000, where I constructed an adapter for the power supply cord. Okay, so I've just opened up my National portable VCR. You can see it looks very complicated, and there was a rattling noise in it, and this is the piece of plastic that's come off, and you can see there's supposed to be there's a bracket here, and then it would have been here. Now, the thing that I noticed is that this cable has been shoved in between here, and it does not look right at all. So if I pull that out, that can then fit together. So I think, because I know this has been serviced before, there's a sticker on it from a service, and it seems this cable for some reason got shoved in between these 2 points, and that probably broke this, because it would have stuck out. Now the question is, where does this go then? Because, I don't know, did it get squeezed in between here? There's not really any... Because, yeah, it looked like it would have been tucked in here, behind this plastic tab. If I can get it in. There, but then where does it go now? Because I don't want it to get squashed against this. Also, there's not really anything that's going to get squashed against. Oh, look at this. Date codes. What's 14, 15? That isn't very clear, is it? I don't know which line means what. And the arrow points to 4. Oh, and here's another code. I don't know what this refers to. I'll have to look into this. There you go. It's 4, so what, 84 of what, 14 or 15th day, depending on that. And then this, I don't know what this is. So yeah, 4, 14 or 15, depending on what line's supposed to be what. And I've got 56, 03. Okay, back with the National NV3000. Going to be testing out if it actually works or not. And first, just a quick sanity check. I've noticed there's a crack in here. I do not remember that being there. Was it? Is it just my poor memory, or is that somehow gotten cracked? Because I know I placed it on the top a few times. I placed it on the bench a few times, but I didn't do anything that would put any strain there. So was that cracked the whole time and I just don't remember? Or has it somehow gotten cracked by just sitting on a bench? I don't know, but I don't know if you can even see it there. You can see there's a crack. I don't know. I'll have to go through footage or something and see if that was already broken. It's just annoying me that I do not remember that at all. I don't know. Anyway, back to what we're doing. I've gone through and I found some tapes that I can actually use to test. I've got 2 of ours. There's 2 of our old tapes that we don't actually care about anymore. This is one I found off the street, and this is a cleaning tape. Although I'm probably not going to use this one because this is a terrible cleaning tape. This is one we bought purely because we needed some liquid. I think we tried it once and it did a terrible job, or maybe it just didn't even go in our machine. Because I'll show you what the tape looks like. It's just some coarse paper. Well, it's not particularly cool. It just looks like a piece of paper. Which, and it feels terrible. Because we've got another one, an older one, and it's got a specially designed paper with textured bits and smooth bits, and it does all sorts of things. Yeah, it's an American one. This is just a cheap Chinese one, although it says Japan on it quite a few times, but it is actually made in China. But, yeah, it's I'm not going to test that. I think that'll do more harm than good. And the interesting thing is, I was going to use the one off the street, but for one thing, this is quite a long tape, so it's probably one of the longest we've got, so I don't want to wreck it. And the other thing I noticed is that this tape actually seems in really good shape, at least just from looking at this bit, whereas all of ours, I don't know if this one I don't know if it's visible. Probably isn't, especially because the camera isn't focusing, I just noticed. But I think this one was pronounced here. There's lots of little creases in it. Now, maybe this is because this is the start of the tape. That might be it, but there just seems to be lots of little creases in it. So I'll probably use this one as a test, because we've got the, because that's nothing special, nothing we need to preserve. It's not a, it's something we've already got on I think on a DVD. Anyway, I'm going to plug things in, and I'm going to turn the telly on and I've turned the unit on. I haven't cleaned the head, so it doesn't look terrible, but then again I didn't get a very good look at it, just peering in. So we'll find out if the head is dirty or not. Again, I'm not going to play a tape for very long. And this TV, again, I think I've mentioned it's very high, very loud. Normally I don't have any problem with CRTs at all, but this one, yeah. Anyway, time to potentially sacrifice a tape. Let's see if it even loads it. It's not doing anything. Never mind, it stopped. I just realised something. I need to change the channel to probably channel 3. Oh, here we go. The annoying thing about this TV also is it auto. I wonder if there's a way to get it not auto. Motors are whirring, but nothing happens. Okay. At the very least, it probably needs new belts. And it could be other problems, but it sounds like it's trying to do something. But yeah, I don't know what channel this thing is tuned to. Looks like it's 3 because it gets some weird patterns, but then this thing just gives up. So, oh, never mind. Nope, there's nothing on that one. Nope, gives up there. Anyway, let's just eject. Okay, it didn't mangle the tape because it didn't even open. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to need to open this thing up. I actually have opened it up already. Maybe this is the time to put that clip in. Maybe I'll put it in earlier. Actually, I think I'll put it, yeah. I've probably already shown it to you then. Where I opened it up to repair a plastic tab. Yeah, now I'm going to be opening it up again to see what's going on. Okay, that was interesting. Oh, it's not going to do it on camera. I flicked it off, and it suddenly went, I think, into play and started making noises. Oh. I just sort of... Strange things are happening. That's fun. Yeah, it did it, and it flashed all the lights. And the counter did nothing. Okay, yep. Alright, so nothing happened, it was just nothing. It's doing it! It only does it when the camera isn't on. That is so weird. Oh, the battery's now still full? Oh, no, it turns off. Interesting, it turns off a moment after you turn it off. That is so weird. That is so weird. That it only does it when the camera's off. No, here we go. Yeah, it's spinning the reel. Why is it playing when there's nothing in there? Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, that is... Something's going on. Something's engaged. I think, I think some mechanism is now engaged. And, I can't eject. I can't open it. This is weird. Yeah, I think some mechanism has... Oh, can I eject now? I find it disconcerting that it's running when it's not on. Okay, so some mechanism engaged. It'd be funny if it could play a tape now. Although it'd be more funny if I destroy a tape now. Is the TV... Why is the TV not coming on? Oh, the TV's just having fun. So let's tune around. Is it on? It's on now. Oh, that's normally how it looks. Oh, I have to go through all the channels again to find one where it... Actually, it probably says on the bottom what channel it is. I'm so dumb. Channel 1. You know, let's set it to channel 0 and see what happens. There, channel 0. Let's see if it acknowledges. Got tuned down at channel 0. Nothing. Actually, that was the deadness that was on 1. So no, that's good, that's good. Yep, it's working. It's on channel 1 now. I'll leave it on channel 1. So yeah, it is working fine. It's just this TV decides that nothing's coming and turns to a blue screen. And then if I actually get a signal... Yeah. Okay, here we go again. Tape's not doing anything. And it's going to give up now. Yep. So, yeah, I think, whatever drives the mechanism that pulls the tape out or something is not working. Anyway, that's enough messing around. Oh no, not again. Oh no, at least that works. Anyway, enough messing around, time to open it up. Okay, now opening up the case a second time. The top cover here just comes off very easily, the cover. As well as the door. Pretty easy. Right, screw it up, and there we go. Just 2 pins here, and then 2 screws there. And the plate's off. Now that's the easy bit. Now I'm looking to see... You know what, now what I can do is plug it in again and we can see if there's anything obviously wrong. Turn it on. I'm tempted to put a tape in here. I'm tempted to put a tape in again and just see what it does. I don't know if that's a convenient angle, so I'll put a tape in and see. But I'll see if it even opens the door, because it didn't sound like it was doing very much at all. Oh, it is? Yeah, it opens the door as you close it, meaning I can't really see anything. Yeah, as expected, it does not even move the tape. Spins the video head, but it does not pull out the tape at all. Whatever mechanism is supposed to pull out the tape is not moving. And that is what causes the problems. So I'll disconnect that. And I can continue with opening it up. Now for the bottom of the case there are 4 screws. Yeah, 1 in each corner, sort of. Not really in the corners. Undo that. Quite long. Okay, that's the base ready to come off. And it just lifts off. Again, seems to hook in. And you can see lots of circuitry. And it's shielded too. That's a clever system, using a little tab that makes contact with something here. Probably here. It's a good design. You can see it looks like there's fingerprints on it that have tarnished it or something. But yeah. Anyway, now that you get this off, you have to take the rest of the case off. So next there's, I think, just 2 screws on the case, on the back of the the base or back of the case. So I'll undo those. This thing is really well designed. It has these plastic feet, once you take the base off, that it can stand on when you go to take the rest of it off. So yeah, that's really good. So now I'm going to lift this part of the case off. Let's see. Okay, that all comes off. Okay, unhooks from there. Yeah, it has hooks that go under there. And now most of it's opened up. And that crack. There seem to be some date codes in here. Again, I think I showed them last time, but I don't know how well I did. I might take photos of them. That circle, the first circle, the larger one, points to a 7, I think. And then to a 5. 5th month. Okay, the 7th of the 5th, maybe. Because yeah, that counts from 1 to 30. Then we've got 56603. Don't know what that means. And PN, and it's pointing at N. So I don't know. I don't really know what that means. And we've got made in Japan. So that's nice. And there we go. Now time to actually work on the thing instead of looking at little things stamped into it. I say time a lot, don't I? I think I've made that point in editing afterwards, going, why are you doing that? I don't know, I can't think of any other words. I have bad vocabulary and bad word choice. So you're going to have to put up with that. It's probably never going to stop. With the case removed, you can very clearly see this slot where the battery went. Yeah, it went in here, and then you would plug it in the socket that's down here. I'm not going to move it now, but oh, I can. The thing is, now that I've got the case off, it's very hard to grip, because I don't want to grip on the ribbon cables, because it's got some. I don't want to grab circuit boards, and this frame's all rather difficult to grip. But again, yeah, this is where the battery slots in. I'm missing the cover, unfortunately, on this thing. Oh well. Again, it was not very expensive, it came with other stuff. But yeah, and you can see the mechanism a bit better. But I'll remove this plate here, and we'll probably get a view of some electronics. Oh, this, I don't even need to remove these screws totally. That is very nice. Just unscrew it a bit, and it seems like it'll just slide off. Yep, because I've already removed the other. That just slides in there. Oh, you probably didn't see that. But yeah, this was just slotted in there. Yeah, there's a bit of paper here to stop it from contacting things. Nice and shiny, which is good. I had 2 screws back here, which are the cabinet screws, or the case screws. And now the video head is all exposed. It looks like there's some stuff on the top. I don't know if that's wear or something. But yeah, it doesn't look particularly dirty or anything. Got some rollers. It really makes full use of the space. It goes right back. And these are the ones that are supposed to move, here and here. So you know what, I'm going to plug it in again and see what happens. Okay, here we've got a top view of the mechanism, and I've turned it on, and I'm going to put the tape in, and we shall see what happens. I've got my mirror here that I can use to figure out which one is play. Not that one. There we go. And yep, it is pretty clear that it does not even move. The playhead turns and it realises that nothing's happening and shuts off. But the 2 little things that pull the tape out are not doing their job. So I'm wondering if that's because of a belt that connects to them has failed, or whether a cam is stuck. I'm guessing it's a belt, because I think a cam would try and turn. But yeah. So yeah, but the head spins, that's good. So I'm going to open up a bit more and see if I can figure out what the problem is, or what's causing this problem. Okay, looking at this circuit board, I think I'm in for a bit of a fun time. First, this has to swing up, so I've got 2 clips, and then this whole panel just flips up, and then this one's hinged here, and for those, so that's fine. We've got some connectors here, plenty of connectors along here, and 2 soldered things, which is not too bad, nice and quick to unsolder, I suppose, but yeah, I think I'll leave it for tomorrow or something, because I'll have to warm up the soldering iron and all that. And yeah, I don't feel like messing with the soldering iron now. I'm not going to clip them, because they're nice easy things to desolder. Hopefully. I'll end up spattering solder all over the circuit board and completely frying the thing. But yeah, then that should all just hinge up here, and then I should be able to get to the mechanism, I hope. Or just a tangle of wires, who knows. But yeah, maybe I'll see if I can find some service info for this. Because yeah, I don't want to mess it up, and maybe there's some information there that is important, like don't do this, or don't pull on that, or make sure this stays in this way. Because I know I saw some of that stuff for the other VCR that I'm sort of in the middle of, but have just put off now, because this one's more interesting. Well, and I'm less worried about breaking this one, because it's simpler and older, and again, if I break it, it's not, yeah, it's already worn out. I don't want to break it, but if I do, it's alright compared to the other one, which is in very nice shape, and I have the remote and everything for it, because it's the weird one. The one that spits out tapes. So yeah, I got service manual for that, and I will eventually finish working on that thing. Hopefully. But yeah, this one is now the one that's interesting, but I'll desolder those another time. Oh, actually, I'd have to unscrew here and here, make sure I don't forget those, and then yank on it and snap the board off. This is more just me telling me what to not screw up next time I touch this thing. Well, maybe it'll help other people. There you go. And about the Sansei videocassette head cleaning system. Non-abrasive cleaning. Non-abrasive cleaning, they say. Okay, yeah, you do put fluid in, but I'm not sure I would want to put this literal paper. It's just yeah, okay, it's sort of smooth, but still, it's paper into my machine. I just don't think that's going to end well. But no, it's non-abrasive. Okay, the cleaning might not be in a normally abrasive manner, but I think the thing that's carrying the cleaning fluid might do some abrasion. It also claims to have some exclusive rotating well for alternative wet-dry cleaning. The other one achieves that. The other better one we've got achieves that by having a tape with a textured bit and a not textured bit. One bit gets one bit gets wet, and then one bit collects the stuff. Yeah, collects dirt. So that sounds like a much better system than whatever rotating well this thing pretends to have inside it. Considering it weighs literally nothing, and I do not see much of anything in it. I'm curious to see what this rotating well looks like, whether it's just a disc with a hole in it or something, or a cylinder with a hole in it. And don't forget your scientific formula fluid. Anything's a scientific formula. You can call anything a scientific formula. Hand sanitizer, lemonade, scientific formula fluid. Gotta be kidding me. This is just... Oh, don't worry, it's PAL. And CCAM. I don't know if it's CCAM or whatever. But yeah, it's compatible. What rubbish. Oh, Japan. They keep telling you about the Japan. Yep. Let's have a look. Oh, look at this. Printed in black on dark blue. Just for maximum clarity. Made in China. So, stop slapping Japan all over it. I know, very clever putting a hiragana character on it too. Just to what? Is that part of the scam or just a mistake? I really don't know, but don't put these things in your machines. Okay, this is for the other this is for the VCR video. I've noticed, I don't think it's belt failure or anything. Well, it could be belt failure anyway, but these things seem to work. They move. They work. Just for some reason, they don't work when there's a tape in it. Oh, and then that comes on. So that's interesting. Maybe I'll just shove a tape in right now and see what happens. I don't think anything that would stop a tape from working is in. So I'm going to turn it back on. And let's see what happens. This is somewhat nerve-wracking, I suppose, but again. It didn't turn it, but it did hold it out. Interesting. Let's see if it... Oh! It's put a smudge on the... Something put a smudge on the tape, so something's oily. So I'll give that a clean. Didn't damage... it looks like the head... Yeah, the tape's not moving. And the head could do with a clean. So... yeah. Something moved, but not far enough, and the tape didn't start moving, so yeah, it does have a problem. So who knows? We'll find out when I open it up more at some point. Well, back with the National finally, and I've got the service manual now, so I have no excuse to procrastinate with this any longer. Now, it appears I sort of disassembled it not in the right order, so that's the first thing. Going through this to figure out how I'm supposed to be disassembling it to open it all up properly without breaking things. We've got a flow chart. So bottom case, top case, front panel. As you can see, I left the front panel on. You're supposed to remove that. And then the cassette cover and the guide. The guide's still in. Or is that the holder? Operation panel. Oh, there must be a panel under... Oh, yeah, this looks like a separate panel here. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And then the shield case. That's still on, okay. And then the... Okay, good. Let's follow the correct order now. So, we've got detailed disassembly methods. And we want the top case. I've removed that. The front panel. Now, the front panel, I know I repaired part of that with some glue. So, yeah, I repaired the clip. So that's one reason I didn't take it off. But it looks like I have to, so let's see. So remove the front panel. Control panel faces upward. Okay, we've got a picture too, that's nice. So we want it to face upward like that. Oh, and you can actually see, that's good. Okay, hold both the right and the left ends of the front panel and carefully lift and turn the top portion of it to remove. Okay. Work this step with extreme care for not being damaged on the locking portions. Great, so I'm going to be putting strain, as you can see, I'm putting the strain on the exact piece I repaired. Lift and turn. Okay. What? Like that? Oh, there we go. Oh wow, that was really easy. Oh, that does not feel good at all. Oh, I hope I didn't accidentally glue this on. Ah, there we go. It's not glued on anymore. So, there goes that. And it comes off now. Oh, it's just a cover plate. Well, so much for gluing that on. I'll be gluing that back on. Yeah, it'll just fit back on. Again, I don't know why these wires were routed under this. That's probably, I think that's, maybe that wasn't what broke it, but anyway, I'm going to be talking for ages about this. So, there we go. That was quite simple. Now the plate's off. If I just broke my repair. You can see some more of the electronics. You can see it. Oh, don't worry, that was just the cardboard getting a hole punched in it. But yeah, got a mechanical counter and all that. Oh, there's even instructions on the case itself. It's getting really hard to pick up without pressing on things that feel important. Here we've got some instructions. I'll just read them out. For dismounting cassette stand, do the followings. Because there's a lot of spelling errors. Unfasten 4 red screws. Okay, oh, the red screws. They look sort of copper coloured. Okay, unfasten 4 red screws. Disconnect the connection rod to flank at the left side. Lift up the left-hand side for mounting. Follow the reverse process against the dismounting. Always make adjustment whenever red painted screws are taken off. Oh, wait, what? Red painted screws and red screws. Great. I'm guessing the red painted screws are the ones you're not supposed to take off. And the red screws are the ones you are. I wouldn't call them red, I'd call them copper coloured. They don't look red at all. When I heard red, I thought they meant the ones with red paint, but the ones with red paint look like you shouldn't take them off at all. Anyway, then we've got the cassette cover. Yep, I've done that. The cassette guide. Remove 2 screws. D. Okay. Oh. That is the 2 screws that are painted in. That are painted. Oh well, there goes the painted seals. So that means this thing hasn't been serviced. Yeah, that would mean this thing has never been opened up like this. I wonder if I can leave that on. I wonder if I can get away with leaving that on. I don't want to take anything off that needs adjustment because I don't have the fancy tools they say for adjusting things. The 4 red screws. We'll see if I can get away with leaving the... Let's see, just to insert tape. Let's see how this guide works. So when I put a tape in and I close it, Oh, it stopped if the tape stuck out a bit, because it clips in. But if it was like that, it stops you from closing it, and if it's in a bit more, it pushes it in. Okay, so that's all that does, and that shouldn't be too hard to adjust. It says you just make sure there's some clearance of more than 1mm. Okay. So you know what, taking that thing off is not going to cause any problems. It'll just mean the lovely little red paint dots get ruined. I'm just going to see if I can remove the whole holder unit, but I suspect there's a reason they tell you to remove them separately. Okay, let's see. Remove this holder unit. The 4 red screws. Do not remove the 2 screws with the red paint on them, in the ones between the red screws. Okay, that clarifies that the red screws are the copper-coloured ones. Oh, that's all I need to remove. These 4 screws. Is this the right? Be interesting to see if it comes off without removing the guide. If only I could get where all these. Well, at least the ones are red, but all the other screws. It'll be interesting to see if I can. Oh, it's moving. Everything is moving. Okay. That's the 4 red screws removed. Wow. Oh, something is attached to something. What have I done? Oh, it just sort of slides out, does it? There we go. Okay. Yes, it just sort of slides in like that. There's a pin I have to be careful about. It's this one of these pins. Oh, this one. This pin here, which normally is over there, engages with a rod in here that's on a spring. If you can, there is a rod here with a, I don't know, a thing here. A rod here with a spring and a little cutout, and that's where that pin goes. So maybe that's why you're supposed to remove the cover, because that will obscure the view. I'll see if I can get that together, otherwise I'll just pull the cover off, but it's good to have it attached for now, because now I know what it is. That can go up there. Now let's see, what do I have to do next? I hope these instructions are actually good. The operation panel. Okay, as the space of this portion is very compressed, especially work with care and ensure on each... Yeah, these have been roughly translated. Let's just say the translation's a little rough. Yeah, especially work with care and ensure on each step. Ensure what on each step? Presumably ensure your care. But let's see. We've even got a diagram. I might even put that up on the side, just so you can see if you're working on one, which means I'll move this over. And first I need to adjust the camera. And then we go to, so step 1, unlock 2 locking portions located on the lower of each side. So step 1 is there are 2 locking portions. And what am I supposed? How am I supposed to unlock them exactly? By pulling. Ah, there we go. You grab it and just go like this. There we go. That's unlocked. And then 2. Unlock 2 locking portions located on top of each side. Okay, these 2. Okay, you just again gently lift. Oh, I presume you just gently lift it. I've got to say it. Oh, there we go. If you retract this a little, just gently slide it back in, and it doesn't come off. There we go. That's step 2. Now, we'll disconnect two connectors which are connected to the earphone jack and the battery meter. Okay. The earphone jack is on one side. Oh, okay. Let's drop it from there. So you have a connector here. This here is connected to... Well, there's probably a trick to these. I don't know it though, so I'm just going to use my fingers. I'm stupid. Oh, it's working. Well, I'm using my fingers because a screwdriver, if I slip, I might damage something. Although, prying with a finger is probably not going so well. Anyway, this is the earphone jack. There we go, that's unplugged. Now where on earth is the battery meter? There's no arrows or anything telling me which ones to go for either. It says disconnect to the earphone jack. There's a wire and it goes down there. The battery meter just goes... How am I supposed to get to that? Oh, well, it's all coming off anyway. Let's see. Oh, I have to get the PC board off. Okay, where is this second... I can't find the battery meter socket. They don't tell me where I'm supposed to be going. Oh, maybe I'll search for... I think I found it. You see these, the little whites, the white rectangle and the two pins here, the two soldered in connections there. It's on the other side of that. So exactly how I'm supposed to do that before taking this off to get to the other side of this PC board, I don't know. Maybe in a different design there's no space there. I don't know. But the instructions are not very helpful with this at all. So unlock the 8 locking portions which lock PC board to the operation panel. Okay. How many? Oh, it's this PC board. Oh, great. So down again. It's amazing how much has been crammed into this, but it's really crammed in. Okay. 8 locking portions. Must mean this PC board. I might get a flat-bladed screwdriver and just press on these. They look like some sort of... Oh, actually, that's going to go badly. Did I mention I don't know what I'm doing? Is this even the right board? Oh, you're supposed to press on these? No. 8 locking portions. Oh, yep, good. Oh, good I didn't continue with that because, yeah, that's wrong. Just look at the diagram. It says, step 4, push on everything, it seems. This thing has to be unlocked. This thing has to... Okay, we'll go along here and see if I can... This just seems like a really bad idea. But apparently this is how you're supposed to do it. How much? And that's so thin there. Oh goodness, this is just... There must be a better way. Surely there's a better way than just pushing out this whole delicate board with... What is this design? That is just... Oh. I do not like this. Is there a... Could they have not made this, I don't know, a different set of steps? That looks... Oh, that's not a nice sound either. I'm just puzzled at this point. So much for the service manual. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Maybe you should have had 5 steps. Maybe this should have been step 4, and then step 5 is pull. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. And I still can't get to the battery thing because someone put it on the side where you. Okay, we're still stuck in 1. There we go. There we go, I think. Of course, the battery thing's attached. There we go. There we go. It's off. No thanks to the useless service manual, which should have 5 steps. It should be step 4 is to get these 2, and then step 5. Really? Because again, they got. I'll show. Again, it'll be on screen. It's got 2 step 4 arrow things. No. Now I have to get the connector that is in the worst spot ever. So, yeah, good job for making a compact unit. Bad job for your terrible manual. And I'll just get that. Okay, so I got the battery meter connector. I had to pry at it with a screwdriver. Yeah, sorry I couldn't film that. It was fiddly. This was surely meant to go on this side. You can't tell me it wasn't meant. This is just well, maybe it wasn't, but this is just a terrible design because, yeah, I've unclipped it. I still can't get it off. And delicate. There we go. Come on. Oh, please fit. There we go. What were they thinking? But yes, here is the oh yeah, they say be careful, the buttons fall out. So whoops. Yeah, well, thanks for the warning. Can I get it back in? Yep, that's quite easy. There we go. Look at that, they're just little springy. Well, it's simpler than I thought. Just a little spring steel here, and they're sort of hinged. It's a neat design. And here's the lever for ejecting, which is probably what that pin interacts with. Anyway, that's another component removed. Oh, and you can see the beautiful LEDs all along here. We've got the buttons. I'll give them a clean before I put it all back together. We've got the on-off switch. You know, if I put the tape part back in, I could probably get it working. You could probably work it as it is. Yeah, they're just little buttons. So now we continue with the disassembly. Removal of the shield case. Because I already removed that thing and put it back on when I was using this with the other camcorder, the national camera. Not a camcorder, it's just a camera. Okay, let's remove this thing. I don't even need to pull the screws out, you just need to undo them. There we go, and something gets stuck here. And there's the red wire, and that it's called the red lead wire, needs to be restored around dumper correctly. Well, I did it right last time. Yeah, it fits in between these 2 plates. So there we go. It's another part removed. And yeah, you can see a mechanism now. Oh, I have to be so careful with the ribbon cables. You can see a lot more of the mechanism now. It looks pretty good. And yes, they are connected with a ribbon cable along here, so couldn't just pull the thing off. You have to unclip it. Got some big connectors. Again, they've really wrapped this, they've enveloped this thing with circuitry, really, on almost all sides. So to opening of the circuit boards, here we go. Disconnect a connector, which is connected to the tape. Okay, disconnect a connector. You couldn't give me a number or something. Let's see. Oh, this board's still supposed to somehow stay in here. Okay. Again, I'll probably put it on the screen on the side if I can fit it. I've got to disconnect the tape counter, so... Oh, that's the top one, is it? I'm not sure that would count that as being connected to the tape counter. It's near the tape counter, maybe it's part of... And you can see how these connectors work. You pull here, and you can slide it out, if you can actually get to both sides. There we go. Maybe just use a tool or a screwdriver. I need to use fingernails, even though I cut them. Anyway, there we go. Now remove 2 screws. Flipping the thing back up. Again, when you cocoon the thing in circuit boards, you then have to rotate it all around all the time. But again, it's a portable unit. Remove the 2 screws. Yep, these 2. I hope I can keep track of all of these things. Okay, there's one, and here's the other. Unlock the 2 locking portions and carefully open the PC board. Carefully open this. Don't be careful with anything else, just be careful with this. No. Let's see. The locking portions. Oh, they're on the side, okay. There we go. We've got 2 locking portions. Oh, and that's already escaped. There we go. Just unlock it. There we go. And it swings open onto the door. Oh. Support the PC boards with your hand to prevent them laying down. Then carefully lay down the PC board. How am I supposed to lay them down if they're still attached? They picture it upright and talking about laying it down. I am perplexed. Oh, what's that? That looks cool. We'll have a look at that in a minute. What next? Notes. Place the cloth or any other soft materials under the PC boards to prevent them damage while servicing. You didn't give me enough instructions to open them up yet. I'll just have to guess. I think it looks... Actually, I think I can see what's going on. Except I have no idea how on earth you're supposed to support this on anything, considering there's a pin here. Yeah, pin down here, which I'll try and get to. Oh, you know what? I know what tool I'll be using. Okay, let's swing out this circuit board. I think I need to press this in. Oh, well that's going to pose a problem. There's all these connectors here, including a few soldered wires. That was my concern. Okay, these connectors look fun, considering I can't get to the little... I suppose that means it's time to warm up the soldering iron after all. Doesn't mention anything about... I'm guessing maybe you're not supposed to pull this one off yet. I'm going to go through the manual. Yeah, it seems like completely ignore that you have to desolder these 2 wires. Unless they're not supposed to be there. Although they must be. They look like they're supposed to be there. And you have to remove all these connectors to swing this board out. Because it later on says that you'll need to swing out this board. It even has a picture of it all opened up. And it says to remove the cabinet parts and all that. So that, rear portion of the deck faces down, presumably following the previous instructions that make no mention of any of this bit. The important bit. Well, I suppose maybe this is for service techs, so they assume you'd know what you're doing, but still, I'm surprised it doesn't make any mention of it at all. It tells you everything else, but doesn't tell you this little bit. I've got to say, this thing is built well. Apart from that one battery meter connector that was in a way you could barely get to it. The manual leaves a little bit to be desired. Anyway, time to warm up the soldering iron and start unclipping these connectors. I'll have to also make sure I get them all in the right order. I might write it down, considering they didn't. Okay, the soldering iron's warmed up. Let's see how this goes. I don't have a solder sucker yet. I need to get one. Hopefully I'll remember eventually to try and find one, because they're very handy to remove stuff. I know some just soldering wick or something. Yeah, let's see if this iron gets warm enough to desolder this. If it doesn't, I have some much more powerful irons that I can bring out, but they might be a little overkill. Come on. There we go, that was easy. Surprised they put such a big blob on. And now for this one. Again, it makes zero mention of this. Come on. There we go. Okay, here we go with removing connectors. And we unclip them from the back and then try and pry them out. Problem is, it's very hard to get to it when all the wires are in the way. So we've got 15 and, well, we've got 14, 13, 12. Oh, well, they're all numbered, so I suppose there's no worries then. I'll probably speed this all up after this because, yeah, no one wants to see connectors slowly being unplugged. Okay, it's time to swing out the circuit board. Again, it doesn't... Oh, actually, I know how we're supposed to do it, I think. There's an illustration. A completely different section of the manual. Okay, I'm supposed to lie on its face. That seems like a great idea. Not. What does this go like that? How does that have any help? This is just going to be me searching through the manual. I don't know. Okay, I just realised I'm a total moron. It hinges from that way. This is loose. It comes off from this side, and these are the hinges that stay in place. So, all those connectors back in. It's that connector that needed to come off. You know, this is why you put that in the manual. Because I'm an idiot. Although this manual's not for me, it's for repair techs who know what they're doing, not people who don't. So I'll clip these back in. Grab it, pull. Oh, and you know what that means? All my desoldering was also pointless. Well, I say all my... The two things I desoldered, pointless, because again, it hinges the other way. Oh well. If I'd looked closer, I might have noticed. Ow. That's not in properly. Oh well. Time to unconnect this one thing. And then plug everything else back in. Okay, let's see. This is number 2. Well, all these sockets are going back in. I don't even need to remove that one because it's connected to the other board, so it'll come out anyway. This is pretty funny, isn't it? To be complaining about a whole missing section of the manual, only for it to turn out that it's missing because you don't need to do it. Oh my. These sockets are annoying. Come on. Oh, is it in? It's really hard to tell with these bigger ones. There we go. They don't really click. Anyway. There we go. So now, how to do it properly. Yep, turns out this thing's designed very well, and the manual's fine. Yeah, it was just me being a complete idiot. It says to gently drop it down. Oh, never mind. There is one connector here, which actually, yeah, it didn't mention this, did it? Or is it just snagged on something? Oh. There we go. And there it is. It's open. I'll have to resolder the wires. I'll do it later. I'm not going to mess with it now. You can see there's a thing here, and there's some chips and some other things, and there's a thing, a belt, and another belt, and nothing looks melted. Belt? That one seems good. This one says, do not turn pulley manually, as your manual turning at each mode will result in breakage of lever. See service manual. Good putting that warning on, because otherwise I might have touched it. So let's just feel the belt doesn't slip. They all... Right, that one... Yeah, I don't know about that one. They all look alright though. So I think it might be more grease. Oh, there's some hair. But I think it might be grease has caused the thing to jam up, or more so the lack of it or something. Because yeah, the belts look all right. Interesting. Well, does that mean I just didn't need to open this up at all? So I managed to screw up on multiple levels. That sounds about right. Anyway, good to have a look inside. That spins. Actually, fortunately, the mechanism, the little arms that pull the tape out, that mechanism, it's buried in the middle of everything, so I can't really see it from anywhere. Of course, the one thing that's the problem on this unit is the bit that you can't access without having to open up everything. Everything has to be opened up to get to that. Oh well, I think I'll flip this back on and I'll work from the top again. Well, it turns out I do a somewhat better soldering job when the camera isn't watching. Somewhat. Oh, guess what? It gets even better. It turns out actually this black wire has to be desoldered for this to flip down all the way. Otherwise it gets... yeah. So only one of them has to be desoldered. Wonderful. They couldn't have just attached it there instead? Really? Anyway, I'm just going to roll up some fabric and hold it up like that then, which is probably a terrible idea. Actually, no, it is definitely a terrible idea. I'm going to do it because I'm just wondering if the problems have to do with this area where there's some Yeah, some greased gears, and I'm wondering if that poses... Let's see, I'll give the things a rattle. No, they don't seem to move at all. Okay, well, back to the top then. You know, if I reinstalled this tape loading mechanism, I could probably just play a tape. Well, actually, even without this, although this holds the tape in place, so this would have to go back in. But with this back in, I could probably just play a tape. Well, I'll have to bring on a TV again that actually displays what this outputs, as opposed to the other thing that refused to. Actually, it might. Anyway, I might be able to connect. Yeah, to if I put this back in, it should work fine. Well, as long as the tracking knob isn't too important, because that's in this control panel, but everything else I've got here. So yeah. Well, actually on the battery meter, but again, that's definitely not important because I don't have a battery. So yeah, then I can try and figure out what's causing these to jam up. Oh, the mechanism's out. Again, to get to that mechanism, it's... Oh. If all I needed to do was clean off this grease and replace it with some new lithium stuff or something, just by wiping it off, man, with one of these things, that was all I needed to do. Well, I'm not going to be annoyed because it was fun to learn how this thing opens up. But it'll be quite funny. So actually, before I put this tray in, that might be the next thing I do. Because they're the thing that gets to actually... Yeah, I think I'll clean that up because... Although I think the real problem is whatever gear moves them in here. I really don't know. Well, I found some YouTube videos that if I'd watched a bit earlier, I probably would have struggled a lot less when it came to opening this thing up. If someone has a whole repair series of it, I watched a few of the videos, and he had a similar problem with this not loading, although mine tries to work. His was a circuit problem. You had to change a capacitor. I'll link that in the description because it could be very helpful. But I don't know. I'm thinking it's a mechanical problem because I have seen these little things move sometimes. So it does know to move them, it's just not moving them enough. So it could be that something has slipped, a belt has slipped or something, and it is out of sync. Or something, or it won't finish its... whatever you call it. Anyway, before I put a tape in, because I want to put a tape in just as it is and see what it does, I'm going to clean these up, because I just noticed this is all very dirty, and I really should have cleaned that before I put a tape in the first time. So I'll get to that. See, I didn't say time to do this. I didn't say it. I just said it. Oh well. Time to go. Well, it turns out that the capstan was and still somewhat is covered in so much dirt. Oh. I'm having to scrape it off because it just doesn't come off just with the alcohol. It is so thick and so crusted on. Wow, that is just... Yeah, that's a lot of dirt. I'm guessing that's meant to not normally be loose. I wonder what that is. Okay, yeah, I have no idea what that is. That's 441. Whatever 441 is, that's what that is. Let's hope it's not... I'm sure it's important. Um, Well, it's come loose. I don't know if it was supposed to be glued up or whatever. Looks like it was glued. Oh well, that's a quick fix if it's just glued in there. I don't know what it does though. Okay, I've got a tape here. I'm going to sort of load this thing in as best I can. There we go. Tape is loaded. Now, I've turned it on. And let's see what happens. Play, let's stop, fast forward. Play. Okay, yep, it's playing. Oh my goodness. I don't know if the tape's doing anything, but it's doing things. Oh, you probably didn't see. It did things. You know, let's get the tape out and see if it damaged it or something. I'll turn it off. I see some lines in the tape, so I don't know. I'm not sure it was moving. Let's try that again, because why not? I'm not sure how good the view is from the camera. Turn it on. Put the camera like that, so you get a better view. It's not playing the tape, but it is now pulling it out. I haven't done anything, so I don't know why it's decided. Maybe it's just unjammed itself, but it's not playing. So, oh well, this is much better than before. I'm going to turn it off now, and maybe it's time to go back